they weren't shocked.
And they weren't shocked. They said, "Oh, you have to go." One thing that I
No.
So yeah.
So you know what? This is a dream project for everybody at the Henson Company. I think it's a dream project for Froud
Absolutely,
Studio.
yeah.
It's a dream project for a lot of fans, and it is particularly a dream project for some of these people in this picture, because I just want to show you on the left, we have almost a reunion of so many people from the reality show. Pete Brook was at the top left, Pete Brook was a mentor, Beth was a judge, Lex was a contestant, Robert Bennett won the contest. These guys all work at the shop right now. Melissa was a contestant on the bottom, and Barton at the bottom. He had done a film.
He actually done a short
submitted
film.
a film. He's a mechanic. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Mechanic now. And then in the other slide is Julie Zobel, who was a mentor from our shop on the show, along with Kristen Dulesky, who did that film, who works in costuming with Julie right now. So I don't think you will see much of this in any of your other franchises that you love, the incorporation.
And
bringing-
involvement. Speaking as a fan, I haven't seen the trailer.
Oh, here we go.
Impressed me.
So Netflix obviously very protective.
Turn off the
just
lights.
Put out a little teaser trailer, and we haven't started shooting yet. There's just a little bit of behind the scenes and one test shot.
It's probably the hardest thing that I've ever worked on. I like to think of it as sort of a work of art. It's something hundreds of people created. It's a wonderful texture and depth to this world. It was the most work, it was the most difficult, but it was the most fun, it was the most rewarding. And of all projects, it's the one that I'm the most proud of.
Yeah.
How long have we waited for something like this in the Henson Fantasy Properties?
Yeah.
35 years? That's more than most of us have been alive.
Not me, baby.
Oh, well, speaking of fans and the involvement and all this other lovely stuff, I never had the opportunity to enter any of these contests because I was working on my book, Letter Writing or Pioneer Film Animation. But is there a lot of these people might not have even heard of the contests themselves? Can they participate in something in the future?
Yes, if you missed the other contest, we are announcing a contest today, which is, and actually we want the barriers of entry to be a little bit lower this time.
Yeah.
You don't have to build it, you don't have to shoot it, you just have to draw it or design it.
Come up with a concept.
Design a new creature for the show, for Dark Crystal Age of Resistance.
To live in the world, to live in the landscape.
And the prize is that we'll be awarding $500, and we're going to shoot your creature in the woodland scene in the TV show.
We're going to build the winning creature.
But yes, we're going to build it for you.
We're
So
going to build it, but the creature shop will build it, and we will film it.
I'm already disqualified. I can't draw word a cent.
ZBrush.
You know. Worst thing I my stick figures commit suicide daily.
Okay, watercolors,
Yeah.
pen and ink, ZBrush, 3D model if you have to.
Just to be creative, to get the feeling of a character that would live in this world.
So all of this will be posted on the site. You don't have to, write it. You don't have to rush to write it down. The judges are going to be the Froud family. Brian, Wendy, and Tobey Froud will judge.
Brian and I are having daily conversations about what we're doing right now. We speak on the phone daily and talk and go through everything. So he's heavily involved.
Well, he's also your
worried
dad.
it could be stressful judging with your family.
I know it's.
Like Cheryl and I were
We have long
judging on
conversations.
Author Quest, and it could be like a little.
Imagine the sibling rivalry. All right. Well.
But you would hear the rules, right? Oh. The creature has to be drawn by hand or digitally, must be a new concept,
Yeah.
must include a front and side view,
That always
must
helps.
provide a short paragraph, 50 to 100 words about your new creature with a name and a description. And we're keeping it tight here, November 22nd of this year is your deadline. And we're excited to build it. We have a team ready to doing lots of woodland creatures and
Absolutely.
bird-like things and lizard-like things
all
and
sorts.
spider-like things, all sorts of things. And we also want to make sure that it doesn't look too much like something that Brian Froud's already drawn or published. So, you might want to make sure, once you've drawn it, just check through the books and make sure you didn't draw something that could be disqualified that way. But we're really excited, and we hope a lot of people enter the contest.
Absolutely.
Wow. That is something that you should put on your resume. Wow. I wish I could do it. But I can't try. So,
Any questions?
yeah. Do you guys have questions? Oh yeah. In order to get questions, why don't you guys form a line down the center, single file, and you will be meeting our lovely person who's behind you, Elizabeth. All right.
I'm wondering if like the Netflix series might be used to adapt all the novels and graphic novels to the screen.
Well, we have done a lot of publishing, and we really feel that the publishing has expanded the world and expanded our canon and expanded our characters. It's not going to be a direct adaptation of any of the specific books, but it takes place in the same time period as Joe Lee's books. So the Joe Lee Penguin YA books, that will be an overlap with the television series. So if you want to read up before the show, it would be those books.
Yeah.
Well, hello.
Hello.
We never see you.
Hello. First off, I want to say The Dark Crystal may not have been a financial success, but it absolutely was an inspiration success of so many artists, filmmakers, writers, and people who wanted to be transported. So it was an absolute success in my eyes. Just real quick, I wanted to mention that for me, it was started on August 18th, 1982, seeing it for the first time on my brother's birthday. So the fandom is very big on Facebook and everything, and we just want to put a shout out to all the Facebook people.
Yes, true. Facebook page, very big.
The official official Dark Crystal fan page and the Dark Crystal, the Dreamfasters out there and everything. So question is, the world of Froud itself, now if I recall correctly, now the novelization, is that still considered canon?
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
Because at one point during the author quest, it wasn't for some reason.
You know what? There might be some mild discrepancies. Like we can't close every gap, But so there are like little discrepancies, and also when you write for television and condense events and things, I don't want the fans to go crazy.
Continuity.
Yes. It will, it won't all be exact.
Because there's some very obsessive fans out there saying,
Yes.
the canon,
Continuity.
wait, no one other than Ogra saw that conjunction. What happened? Anyhow, Froud itself, the world as a planet, tetrahedron.
What do you think?
We know it's a small planet, but it is a tetrahedron. I mean, the world is made up of threes.
Right.
But we all know that.
Grand Triangle.
So,
You're right. A lot of things.
Yeah.
And one last question. I'm sorry, Lisa.
no, that was it.
No, I was just thinking about the fact that, this goes to show that we don't always do everything perfectly, because I think in the graphic novel, Power of the Dark Crystal, which is in the future, I believe Ogrish opens up a globe of Thra to show the fiery center.
Oh, yeah.
It's a globe.
It's a globe. It's
Yeah,
a
well.
round. It's a round one, but it's never truly round.
And the Crystal Castle itself, when it became darkened, is that a husk that was corrupted because of the dark darkening of the crystal, or is it something that the Skeksis enslaved the Paladins and the Gelflings to build around it?
It seems like you need to do your reading of the creation myths and not ask us everything.
There's in the world of Dark Crystal itself.
No, we actually ourselves done a lot of talking about all this stuff, and some of these things are going to have to wait and see. But the world is very much alive.
Indeed it is. Where trees walk and so the rocks. Thank you.
Hi, I was just wondering if you guys were planning on doing any expanding as far as Augur goes and her race and their role in the whole Great Conjunction story.
Mm-hmm. You know, in the the creation myths, which are these really beautiful graphic novels that Brian Froud worked on very closely with the editors. There is a lot about Agra in the creation myths because the idea is that she is like almost a mother. It's like a Mother Earth kind of character, and she is synonymous with Froud. Like the idea is she's been there since the creation of the planet. She was created as well. And so there's some beautiful pages in the book where it shows like, you know, life starting and creatures growing, and then Agra. It's all like one thing. So there she is. And but she does have a son, which people don't know about from the movie. That's in the creation myths.
Yeah,
it's in the book. She has a strange son named Ronan.
Who's the dad?
That would be in the comic book. You'd have to read it.
Oh.
Hi. I'm wondering about the new series.
Ernie.
Hi. How are you?
It's a great song.
It's my favorite thing to wear. I'm wondering if you can talk about the technology advances since the original film and what kind of balance you're finding as you do the new series between using new technology and still preserving the feeling of the original.
Mm-hmm. Well, everyone involved with our show, particularly Netflix, they all love puppets. So we had never dreamed that we'd be able to make a huge television series with the puppet technology from the original movie because we just thought like we actually just didn't have the faith that a network would do that. And along the way, like 10 years ago, we were developing a children's television series for animation that would have been sophisticated, but not puppets. I have to say it was kind of like Last Airbender, which I'm a big fan of. And so we felt like if we could do a television series as interestingly and with as much integrity as Airbender, it would be okay if it was animated. So that's actually what we pitched to Netflix. And Netflix, it was a very high quality project that we had. And Netflix surprised us by saying, how hard would it be to do it with puppets? And I almost fell over, it was just such a shock. So of course it is puppets, but we also, my dad was a huge technical nerd, and he was very into CG animation. So, where appropriate, particularly with the world of Froud, we will be taking advantage of CG.
Yes, yeah, that's the benefit of
Because
this day's technology.
You can see so much more of Froud when you don't have to build it in a set in Pinewood, or Elstree rather.
One of the biggest misconceptions I've noticed as a fan is a lot of people think that Jim Henson would not have liked CJ or I computers. There's one fact you take away from this, other than this wonderful stuff about the Dark Crystal, is Jim Henson was a pioneer when it came to new technology. He was one of the first to try it too. So if you think, oh, you didn't like that, yeah, you're wrong.
Hi, I was wondering if there was a copy of that. You mentioned before that there was the audio track with the different languages and all that. Like, is there somewhere? Because I've been looking it up for like 30 minutes. And I can't.
There's one or two scenes of it as added value. On which release was that?
I mean, it might be on the Blu-ray.
The Blu-ray has
Blu-ray
a couple
release.
scenes. There is no extant cut of the movie with all the original dialogue in it.
I think that might also have the cut funeral scene for the Skeksis as well.
Yeah, it does.
And stuff like that. So
You should release that. We'd be very happy. Yeah.
We'll find a way to make those things available.
And then you can use the money from releasing that version to make more Dark Crystal movies and videos and everything that we like. Never let it end.
Yay! Never let it end.
Yeah.
I didn't mention, which I should mention, that we have an extraordinary leader on the television show, which is a director named Louis Leterrier, who did Now You See Me and Clash of the Titans, and he is such a huge fan of Dark Crystal. He was in the wings for years to direct the feature sequel if we could get the money for it. And I knew that was his passion to direct the film. So I called him one day after the Netflix meeting and I said, I knew if we did the Netflix show, it would kill the movie. So I called him, I said, how do you feel about not making the movie and doing 10 hours for Netflix? And he said, are you kidding me? That's 5 times more Dark Crystal. I totally want to do it.
Will you be using puppets from the movie on the new show?
The puppets are so old. We've measured them. We've measured them. We've copied
so many
them.
notes.
From the intended sequel. Since they were new, the Dark Crystal 2. Will you be using any of those puppets intended to be in Dark Crystal 2 and the Dark Crystal?
Well, we hadn't built any of the puppets.
Oh, I thought there was a Queen Kira.
No, we hadn't built them. Oh, you know what? They're so beautiful. They're Wendy's fingers. They're like this big. Yeah.
Your mom rocks.
She's an incredible artist.
Yeah.
No, it might be almost done, right?
Any more questions? Come on, guys. Once in a lifetime opportunity. Come on down.
You think it might be possible at some point you might still make a Dark Crystal 2?
You mean, well, we have
like a sequel to the first movie?
Because we were afraid that the sequel story might never see the light of day, we gave the screenplay to Archaea to turn it into a graphic novel series called Power of the Dark Crystal. It's about half done. They've put 6 of the 12 episodes out. So, I mean, it's fun. People can read it and, maybe that will be another series down the road or perhaps a film, but I was eager to get the story out because I love it and it involves a whole other race of characters called firelings that live in the center of the planet.
Because I'm sure I can speak for everyone here and say that we'd love to see all those books put onto the screen. That would be like spectacular.
I mean, that's really what you're going to almost start to see in certain ways. That's what you're about to witness, and you're going to get more content from the fact that Netflix has said yes. So that's the best thing, and the fact that TV nowadays is just like film. And I will say one thing is we are trying to concentrate on detail as much as possible.
Because otherwise, we would let you know.
I know. I'm aware.
Hey, I've heard there's been a bunch of rumors about Labyrinth 2 plans, and then they've been scrapped, then they come back, and then they're scrapped. I mean, what happened with all that?
Well,
Labyrinth 2. Well, Labyrinth 2 is just like a germinal idea. There really isn't much to report on, and the idea is floating around. It would be it would be a sequel. I mean, I think everybody was pretty alarmed at the notion of a remake, and so would we be alarmed at the notion of a remake.
Don't mess with perfection. Please don't. Please don't go the route of so many other Hollywood studios.
Yeah. No. I like the idea of a sequel, if anything. Yeah. But we won't do anything unless the script's really amazing, and if it's an impeccably great development situation, then it will probably happen.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see. What's our time situation here? Oh, one more question.
Go on, just one more.
Make it quick. Hurry, be the Flash.
Just say hurry.
Okay, so Jim created this world and then the world of Labyrinth. Did he ever talk about other worlds?
He's always talking about worlds.
I can answer that.
What? Go ahead. No,
okay.
He's an academic. Go ahead.
Scholar and animation historian. Moving on, yes, Jim has created a whole bunch of world that mind was always thinking. A lot of them have been turned into comic books, like The Tale of Sam from Archaea. Anything and everything has been open to be eventually turned into a comic book, at least so said Archaea. And the hope is in the future that Karen Falk, the Jim Henson archivist, will bring these more to the attention of other people like the Offspring. And we hope to see them turn into more things. But just demand more unreleased Jim Henson stuff because they are there in the archives and they've just been hiding.
All right.
We demand it.
There you go. Thank you, fans.
Tobey, Froud.